We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello. YDBT Daily on a Thursday. We're getting back after it, trying to get a nice schedule going for everything. Today we're going to talk about, is Farley literally about to be ousted based on this article? A fan, sorry, I really hate saying fan because I don't know, fan has like a negative connotation when it comes to everything. So a follower, a supporter, sorry. Oh, there we go. A follower / supporter sent me an email saying, hey, this would be an interesting article. A guy's named Ashton Escoto. He's like, hey, Alex, I think you should talk about this because it might be Farley's last strike coming up because he feels he has 2 strikes against him. So he feels that anything else goes wrong under his watch, that he might be out of there. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the video that I uploaded yesterday about the Corvette making 600 real horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque, which tells you there's a restriction, which is probably in the, in the air flow. Basically, it's getting it in, but it's not getting it out fast. So it's kind of having a high boost condition, which you don't want a lot of boost on these cars because they can make a lot of boost. A lot of power at relatively low boost. You just have to make the engine a little more efficient, which means cam, which means this. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am not looking forward to opening up the motor just yet. I'll do the inlet stuff like I talked about in the video, the cold air, the throttle body, the inlet, and the supercharger. Do all that at the same time. By then, I'll probably need a clutch. So I'm trying to set it up so that the last thing I do is cam and heads, which is max effort in terms of stock bottom end stuff. Anything above and beyond that is 427, 408, like crazy, 380, whatever the fuck. Badass builds, but it's going to be a stock bottom end car. But I was able to reach my goal of 600 real horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque on the dyno. It took a lot of timing to get there. Over 25, which I'm not a fan of. But again, guys, low compression race gas. Remember that. I know a lot of you guys freak out at the timing numbers, but low compression race gas is the reason. So we'll talk about it. Say hi to the people here as always. Before we do that, as always, the sponsors. Wow, what a shout out. We got Ultimate Header, ultimateheader.com. People that make the best headers on the planet, period. I don't run any Coyote header, but Ultimate Header, period. If they made C601 headers, they'd get my business. Caliber Transmission, calibertransmission.com. Gonna pay the brother cash for the transmission once he gets up to NMRA, probably a couple weekends from now. See him. 2 Auto Solution, Rami Zaidan. He's the guy guiding me through the ZR1 build. He's the parts plug. 2 Auto Solution, Rami Zaidan. PMAS, Nick James freezing his ass off up there in Michigan. Just got an ice storm, so he's fun. PartsFarm.com. Just got a GT350 in. Fucking that perfect red that I love, but it is smashed up and it looks like someone threw a freaking Molotov cocktail in the sucker and lit it on fire. And Doma Got Cookies, domagotcookies.com, domagotcookies_LLC, the cookie lady, the cookie man, the cookie people that keep us fat and diabetic. Gotta love it. 2000 MCR Douche did it. Fresh Pasteles and Fresh Pastelazo were the first one. By the way, it is Mandip's birthday today. So everyone say happy birthday to JD Swag, and we're gonna serenade him with a happy birthday. Here it is. Yeah! Come on, JD! It's your fucking birthday! It's kind of an odd, upbeat birthday song, right? Yeah! Okay, Mendoza's Coyote, Robostyle, Cluster BM, D&G Brandon, Paul Sack, Pito, Chiquito, Damel Chiquito, Slow 99, Andy Ali, Darren Harper, Ignacio, Turuviate Racing, nobody breathes down my back. Do you know, you're gonna come here and breathe down my back, we're gonna have a fucking problem. Because I don't make whatever you want, I make whatever I want. D-Rock Fox, TJ Sikorsky, Paul Sachs again, Ignacio the Wolf, Jose Figueroa, EPA, Potential, NPC, non-playable character, Paul Ponthieu, CO Jones, Rodney, Vicito, Mendoza, Falcon, Tito again, Black Betty, Joe Swish, Paul Ponthieu, Melissa says happy birthday to J. Deeb, Mandip Singh, Justin Harshman says, what's up, Alex? The vet video is very cool. Watching the vet content has had me educating myself on more of the competition when I wouldn't have otherwise. Born and raised Ford guy, thank you, and that is the reason I did it. Melissa said, hey, before any Black Betty, Anthony, Angel Puerto Rico, James Williams. What's up, brother? CMD. Try White Boss, Johnny Boy, Jacob, Bondo Bird, missing a gear as always. Jeff Betts, I haven't seen him in a while. D-Rock Fox, Phil Fez, James Williams again, Joe Swish, and a bunch of other people. So a lot of the people that watch my stuff, let's say you don't know anything about LS stuff, which I generally didn't. I just knew about LQ4, 5.3, 4.8, but I don't know the nuances. And the more I educate myself, the more one channel stands out above the rest. And they didn't pay me. They didn't do anything. All they did was just build badass stuff, and it made me watch. And it is Late Model Performance. I don't know them. I don't know them from a hole in the wall. They don't know me. But everything on this channel is legit. This is where they dynoed the Kong 2650. And again, you guys put me onto this. I wasn't aware of anything. And they have ZR1 stuff. They talk about cam selection. They have very good videos. And you know what the most important thing of all? The tuner seems to know what he's talking about, and he talks to you like a regular person. I forget his name, but he just talks to you. Hey, man, what's up, man? You know, you don't want to get these cams and max effort and this and that, and you don't need a Con 2650 unless you're going to go full retard and, you know, stock bottom end stuff. And perfect. And he talks about the dyno differences. He talks about lid. Talks about people turning the cold shoulder when he simply wants to give constructive criticism. And I totally understand that aspect. When, let's say, for instance, you get a piece of shit cold air and you tell the cold air manufacturer, hey, you know, we're Lund Racing. We tune, I don't know, every Mustang on the planet. And we're seeing some discrepancies with your cold air. And we would like to talk to you about it, because instead of just telling people your cold air fucking sucks, don't buy it, before we do that, we'd rather work with you to see. And the moment they give you the cold shoulder and say, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about, tune it better, we start saying, fuck your intake to our customers, and others get it. And you know who hasn't had any issue with their intakes? PMAS, Air Raid, Roush. Plenty of people out there have had great success with cold air intakes, and if they take some constructive criticism, great. Late Model Performance apparently talked to people about lids, talked to this, talked to that, and you know what? He's like, man, it's just fucking stupid. These guys with the drama, and they're just get whatever. So they started making their own stuff. So instead of the company taking the constructive criticism and going, okay, this maybe let's work together. Because I guess they work with Kong, Greg Kiyosayan, and he's like, yeah, cool, let's work together, and whatever you think I need to do. Rami Zaidan also works with Kong with the porting on the GT500 stuff. So that channel on the LS side of things seems to be legit. I watched 20 videos today. 20 videos of their Camaro running 8s, of their CTS V3 customer that just doesn't care about racing running 950s. Boy, that interests me. An LT4, I think it's called, on a V3. Sheesh. It looked like that's going to be one of my next cars. I guarantee it. So we'll talk about it. His name is Justin. So, hey, Late Model Performance, I don't know you from a hole in the wall, but I like what you got going on, and you deserve way more than 9,000 subscribers. So guys, maybe you don't care about LS stuff, but let's do this. And again, they're not, this channel's legit. Let's bump this up to at least 10,000, man. Even though, there's at least 1,000 of you that'll subscribe to Late Model Performance. Let's subscribe to them. Let me start. And we'll all, join, get them over 10,000. So one day they wake up and they go, what the fuck just happened? Because look, I have a ZR1 and I want to get some knowledge. And these people just speak my language and I like them very much. So let's talk about the whole Jim Farley situation. Okay, let me get rid of this because I don't want to show you certain email addresses because, I'm trying to keep everyone sort of anonymous. Do you know what I'm saying? Here we go. Ford, Strike 3 and Farley could be out. So the summary of the article is there, but let's just talk about it. These are the summary of the articles. Ford CEO and Jim Farley is definitely in a put up or shut up predicament. In my opinion, he submits that the outspoken CEO has 2 strikes against him already. One more strike, and the odds are Farley could be out of there. Okay, a baseball analogy. When considering the details of certain investments, sometimes an analogy comes to mind regarding Ford. And it's outspoken, and that's the problem. The nail that sticks out gets hammered. CEO Jim Farley, a baseball analogy or batter at the plate seemed quite apropos. I see Farley at the plate with a full count, 2 strikes, 3 balls, and there's 1 pitch left. And if Farley swings and misses one more time, he's out. What I mean by out, he's either stepped down or let go. The fact of the matter is he has not come through like he said he would. He said to himself in a following piece, I'll lay out the pros and cons of Ford and the present based on the pitch of count 2 strikes and 3 balls. By the way, it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody says 2 strikes, 3 balls. Everyone says 3 balls, 2 strikes. The count is 3 and 2. No one ever says 2 and 3. The company has essentially 2 major flaws and 3 positives at present. Let's get started. Strike number 1. Ford costs are out of control. He said, this is Ford CFO Lawler. I'm sorry, this is Ford CFO. We can cut costs and cut people, but we can do that quickly. We'll do whatever we need to. I'm sorry, this was Farley. But the reality is that if you don't change the efficiency of the engineering and supply chain and manufacturing, the inefficiencies will grow back. Lawler then added that the company has about $7 billion to $8 billion cost disadvantage over rivals. He explained that the cost gap is made up about 3 to 4 billion in material costs, 1 billion in warranty costs, and about 3 billion in structural costs. Strike 2. Ford's operational execution is dreadful. So Ford not only needs to cut costs, it needs to completely revamp the operations and cutting the fat out of the organizational structure. The good thing is that they seem to have identified the issues and have plenty of fat to cut. As a former cost reduction and avoidance consultant for Ernst & Young, I can tell you properly identifying the issue is the first and most important step in the process. Nonetheless, when you attempt to implement the supposed remedies, often additional hidden or unanticipated costs and roadblocks appear. As CEO Farley stated on the earning, we have deeply entrenched issues in our financial systems and have been proven tough to root out. Candidly, the strength of our products revenue had masses functionality for a long time. It's not an excuse, but in reality, we're dealing with it urgently. So what's happening is Ford was in a good position for a really long time, and it masked a lot of their issues. It masked a lot of their quality control issues, and they're basically doing everything else but addressing that. Basically, what you can do is this. You can have a badass hype game. I know a lot of tuners out there that suck at what they do. I'm telling you guys, they suck at what they do, but their social media presence is decent. So all they need is that new influx of customer coming in every tax season, every platform change, every part introduction, everything that can get a new customer going to a new tuner you can hide the fact that he sucks because of the rep. You got their money. Here's a tune. Oh, it sucks. Fuck you, buddy. Go somewhere else because I'm going to go ahead and get 30 more of you next month when tax hits, or 2 months from now when a new platform hits, or a month from now when I introduce a new cold air. Because it doesn't matter if every cold air on the market has been vetted. The moment you introduce a new one, people want it, thinking that there's some secret sauce they've never heard of before. The warranty stuff is just something you can't hide with Ford. Ford has a major problem with warranties, and I've already located my next vehicle. It's in H. Gregg in fucking down south somewhere. And I want it. I like it. I'm going to buy an extended warranty. And I'm not really going to worry about anything else because I need a SUV. It's a Denali. It's like a iridium metallic Denali with like a cocoa interior. Bro, that bitch is bad. I love it. It looks great. And I'm going to buy an extended warranty, have maybe about a $500 payment, and I'm good. I would have never done that 5 years ago. If you would have looked at Alex 5 years ago and said, Alex is going to buy a Chevy Tahoe, a Tahoe or a GMC Yukon Denali, you would have thought I would have lost my goddamn mind. But after seeing all the EcoBoost issues, the turbo issues, the chain issues, the QC issues, the 10R80 convinced me never to go the Ford route with a 10-speed. This Yukon has an 8-speed, and I'm happy about that. So, what do you think? Because look, it's very obvious. And I know you guys think I'm Ford bashing. This article was released yesterday. And every time I release video about Ford sucking, it's because something new happens. Did you guys see the video on, the story on 1320? 1320 video, 1320 on Instagram. They posted up, let's do that real quick because this is, again, another lightning issue. Let me go 1320 video. 1320 video. 1320 video. And they posted a story about a guy who drove a Lightning. Where is it? They had a post. 1320 video. Interesting. No. They must post like 5 fucking times a day. What the fuck? Anyway, there was a post of a guy that took his Lightning out on a drive, camping, and he towed a camper, and he stopped like 16 times in about 1,000 miles or so. And if I drive from here to Pennsylvania, I probably stop 4 times, but 16. And then he outlined his whole, and I went, you want to get scared about buying electric? That's how you do it. You introduce a subpar meh vehicle that is a platform that a lot of people know and love. Again, the F-150 is not a truck. You might think it's a truck because it has a bed, but a 5.5 foot bed is as useful as, I don't know, a big clit on a woman. Like, it doesn't. Why is it there? Why is it this big? I don't need it to be that big. You don't need a bed that's 5.5 feet. It's basically a minivan. So everyone that has a F-150, you have a minivan because most of the people that buy that don't do truck shit in it. So Ford goes, well, this is a very well-known, familiar platform. Let's stuff a battery in it and have mediocre stuff in it. And sure enough, it gets everyone scared. While in reality, it might be a decent idea if implemented properly. That's the reason I'm waiting for Tesla's Cybertruck. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to fanboy over it, but I'm really interested in how it's going to perform and how it's going to do everything truck related. Also, Ford's starting to look like some, Ford is looking really bad. How does tuning the LS compare to the Coyote, says Justin Harshman. Trying to learn the HD effects of an HPT. Oof. Man, it's tough. The logic makes sense to me for individual items, but when you bring it all together, the blending is what's key. Now you're going to understand, Justin Harshman, that when you go wide open throttle, it's cake because it's referencing OP stuff. OP stuff. So what you have to do, and I'm not going to give you specifics, you're going to have to dial in every single little one and its torque tables if you want to custom tune it. But if you want to tune it in a global fashion, just mimic what Ford does stock. Just add your sauce to it. Now, tuning the LS stuff is mostly a lot of torque reduction stuff. The issues I've had that I've had to reach out to the guy that's helping me tune, he doesn't even want his name shouted out. And I just keep sending him money, and he doesn't ask for money. I go, here's money. Thanks for the advice. He's like, you don't got to give me money. I'm like, here's money. Just, I know what it is to be bugged. So the torque reduction stuff is big, especially the spark stuff on the shift. You got to make sure all that stuff is off. Make sure it doesn't interrupt. Once you get rid of that, you got to make sure you throw the IAT function kind of out of the way, which again, similar to Ford. But the timing is the one that kind of messed me up, and the air fuel. The air fuel, you could do injector data, just like Ford. You can do MAF data because it is hitting cells. But the problem that I'm having is this. The MAF data looks really good until it falls off a cliff and goes full fat. So it's either the KPA and injector data at that RP, at that voltage, at that boost level. You understand? At that voltage, at that boost level, should I really be touching the MAF? Probably not, because it's dialed in after 10.5 hertz. And then I'm going to have to potentially go into the injector data and start manipulating that to bring the trims back. It's going to be interesting. But it's not that much different. It's just I don't have to deal with any VCT stuff. And with Ford, VCT heavy and HDFX and blending, because the tables blend, it becomes daunting to look at it. And since I learned on it, everything else that I look at tends to be dumb and I overthink it. So when I get a Chevy file, look, I'm not going to say Chevy file because I'm not going to start tuning Chevys. Fuck that. I'm tuning my cars. Once you get it in front of you, you notice how little there is. But you also don't know how everything correlates to each other. So you definitely have to find what does what. on the dyno, I went watt and it hit a weird limiter. So torque management stuff, shut everything off. Fix that. That was with help of the tuner. So I was like, okay. And then timing is cake, fueling is cake. You just have to understand that a 1% change in the tune can be a 10% change in the car. It's crazy. Someone said he emailed me shots of the 1320 post. Thank you. Because, right in the middle of the show. That's usually when it works the best. Because we have dead air and I have to kind of make it up as I go along. But it's a good time. It's a good time. It better not be in spam. Ford Lightning. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay, here's the screenshot. Oh, my God. So I took... Okay, beautiful. Let's check it out. So some guy took his Lightning for a ride. So I took a total of 12 charging stops. Sorry, 12, not 16. Charge stops to get from Colorado Springs to Boise. 10 each stations and 2 charge points. I was never forced to use anything slower than 50 kilowatt charger. The longest leg was 125 miles between Brigham City, Utah and Berkeley, Idaho. Overall, a successful trip. I left on Friday about noon and got into my destination at noon on Sunday. 3 fucking days. My God. The charging infrastructure is actually pretty good, blah, blah. I did the math and roughly 6,000 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Get out of here. Get out of my face with that shit. Guys, don't buy a Lightning if you just want to go camping. Don't buy a Lightning, please. Just buy a regular ass Sierra. I'm done with Ford. Get a truck, get a Ram 1500 or a Sierra or a Silverado and be happy. I am done with new Ford, and I know you guys probably hate hearing that because you think I'm all of a sudden... I'm anti-new Ford. I'm just anti-new Ford because the product is not good. Remember back in the day what Ford owned? Get out of here, James Williams. Send me your login tune file. Are you psycho? That's how Chevy guys are. Send me your login tune file. No, there is a trust issue. The guy I'm working with is I'm not saying you're not legit. You're probably awesome. But I am not going to muddy the waters with 5 different tuners tuning my... No. You got to have a game plan. And this is a very good learning lesson for you guys out there. If a guy gets tuned by me and then gets a second opinion from another tuner, I don't want to work with them anymore. Are you working with me or are you working with 17 different tuners? And if he goes, well, this guy looked at your log and said this, shut up. So what? My car tuned fine, guys. My car tuned fine. No, thank you. I appreciate you, James Williams. My car tuned fine. Air fuel was 11.4 at watt. I got there. No problem. I don't need any help. Thank you very much. I'm good. I appreciate you. There is no more sauce to be had. It's done. It's tapped out. I pulled plugs. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is it. Because it's not moving the air efficiently enough. The timing strap is too close. The air fuel and the ring around the plug looks a little on the rich side, but I'd rather err on the side of caution than anything else. The Lightning actually making people anti-electric. Enjoyed the ZR1 dyno video today. Thank you. Look, it took a whole day to make, meaning I get down there like at 9, and I didn't leave the dyno till 5:30, and it was videoing, dialing stuff in, pulling plugs. Then I had a spark plug wire break. Fucking spark plug wires. What year is it? But, 09, whatever. And, got everything dialed in the way I thought it should. The thing sounds phenomenal. Right, Jason? What's your social security number? Right. The thing sounds so good. And I gave it a little street pull. I'm telling you, I gained it 40 rear wheel horsepower from when I came onto the dyno than when I left. So it is a vast improvement, mostly dialing in the injectors because they're just so big. So on a 14.0 stoic fuel, E85 completely different. He's taking all the logs, right? Will you expand the knowledge you give as you learn to other platforms? Yeah. So you got to understand that Dodge tunes differently than Chevy, tunes differently than Ford. A Chevy tuner, knowing what I know now being in that E38 heavy, I think it's called E38. If I was tuning ZR1s only and ZL1s and LSs, and I looked at a Coyote file, I would just shut the laptop and walk away. Whereas the other way, if I'm a Coyote guy and I'm pretty comfortable with Coyote, and I open a ZL1 as ZR1 file, I'm going to go, that's it? But then you got to understand, just because there's less stuff doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You have to understand what does what. And what do you want to accomplish? Just like I told John Sr., the first question I ever asked him in the tune, I said, where are the squirters in the carburetor? And he was like, right here. And I was like, oh. And then I basically asked him where this is, and he told me, and we talked back and forth, and it was a good time. Like throttles, guys. Did you guys, again, the moment I figured out that pressing on the gas pedal is not telling the throttle blade to open, it opened my eyes as to how tuning works. Send me your tune so I can become a 01 Instagram tuner out of nowhere. No, stop it. Stop it. I just want to see what happened at 10.5 on your math from what you said. It just went, fuel pressure went up, air fuel fell off a cliff. It went 11.4, boom. Once it hit that cell, went full fat. When I pulled 0.998, it went 10.4. Then I pulled 0.9985, and it went 11.5. If I pulled 0.98, it would go 12.5. So the adjustments have to be insanely minute in that blending area, and I was able to figure that out after a little bit. Got to run catch replay, said Bondo Bird and Dean Perez. I'm getting out of the Ford game as well. They're doing what Mitsubishi did 10 to 12 years ago. Got me wanting to join Team Chevy. Now, again, guys, some guy hit me up on Instagram, and he goes, what the fuck? Like, he was genuinely mad. He goes, what the fuck? You're an LS homo now? I go, GT500, Notch, and the Fairmont. You're saying I'm all of a sudden an LS guy when I have a GT500, a Notch with a small block Ford, and a Fairmont that might have a Coyote in it again, or a Voodoo variant something. Come on, guys. I'm a Ford guy, but again, I can't keep supporting a company that has so many missteps. Unfortunately, we are kind of married to a Ford brand, but the new stuff can't be tuned anyway, so it matters fuck all. So we deal with what we can tune, which is 23 and under. But if you were going to ask me, Alex, if you wanted to build an 8-second car today, what would you do? I'd use a Gen 2 Mustang. Plain and simple. And I might do that. If I get into a house quickly this year, my first purchase is probably going to be an automatic. Just hear me out, kids. Automatic 6R80 Mustang, probably a 17. Twin turbo. Tell Jake to get the tranny built. Good converter. And good fuel system. And try to run 8s. And the moment it runs 8s, get it out of my life. Just to say that, it's easy to do. Because that's an 8-second car. I saw a guy selling a GTR. It says solid 850 GTR. And I went, how much is that car? If you just want to go 850s, just a lot cheaper to do it in a Mustang. And still have a modern car that rolls out. Alice, I didn't see the black smoke shooting out of the ZR1. Need to adjust the tune. Right, is ZR. And that's what I've been wondering. So a lot of the tuners out there that say they're badass tuners, you see this rooster tail of black smoke come out of their car. Now, two things could be happening. They want to run it safe. The meth is too high or too much meth. Or they're just running it super rich. Like, why didn't my car just have a rooster tail of black smoke coming out of it? All I did was monitor air fuel, not just through the gauge, but I pulled the spark plugs. And when the gauge told me this, the spark plug told me a different story. So you got to get good at doing both, in my opinion, if you're a legit tuner. Jason says, I asked because I'm getting turned off by Ford and starting to look like cool Chevy stuff. CTSV, Corvette, ZL1s. Look, Ford doesn't make anything. Ford doesn't make anything that competes with the CTSV. There's a V2 wagon, white, for sale in Galveston right now. What does Ford have that's a cute little wagon that's supercharged, rear-wheel drive, it can chop like a motherfucker? Nothing. Crown Vic? With taxi-ass having motherfucker? Get out of here. Because you're a rose in the field of daisies, says the black GT500. Thank you for the money. I appreciate that. I'm tuned by London. Can I have my tune in the sport, ply, or drag mode, normal mode, and have more soft driving feel for driving around the neighborhood? Supreme Media, the only mode we would adjust in terms of the shifting would be normal mode. Every other mode is going to kind of stay mimicking what it does on the stock side. The Ford GM 10-speed is just a CVT with Tourette's, says Joe Schwish. I sleep with tuners for the benefits. Have your virtual torque and SD tables been modified? No. Haven't touched any of that stuff. I know that I know that he's touched. No, actually, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think so, because the car makes 2 or 3 more pounds of boost than it does stock. Like, it's not crazy, but maybe when you put long tubes in it, it affects it. Because I understand now why people say, "I put long tubes in the car, Alex. I need my tune adjusted." On Ford, you don't, but on Chevy, you might. But I started off with something that was modified and worked my way into it. Again, all you need to do, apparently no different than a small block Ford, is keep it running, make sure torque reduction isn't interrupting, good spark, reading the plugs, good air fuel, and generally it seems to be pretty happy. Voodoo would be nice. Why doesn't Ford have a Corvette competitor? Well, they'll tell you that it's okay. I'm not going to lie to you. Gen 2 S550s were dogging Corvettes. We're dogging Corvettes. You know what I mean? So, for a while, like twin turbo S550s were just killing Camaros. Then Kong came out with the 2650, Magnuson came out with the 2650, and all of a sudden things were just happy as hell. And they were running really well, and then but they don't have a Corvette competitor in terms of that. It's simple. No one is willing to buy a $100,000 Ford or a $70,000 Ford. Well, according to them, the GT500 was a Corvette competitor. Like, you could make the argument that the GT500 was a Corvette competitor, but I don't think so. Like, I think the Camaro and the GT, like the SS and the GT are competitors, and then the ZL1 was the competitor to the GT500. Competitor, didn't say it was better. Competitor. So there is no competitor to the Corvette that Ford ever made or even tried to make. Like, the Ford GT, that was a failure. If you were going to put it up against Corvette, it became too expensive and not many were made. Whereas Chevy seems to have that market cornered, and they compete against German cars generally. The Z01 sounds badass. I love how it sounds. And it does that weird bark in between gears now. If you shift under 2,000 RPMs, and if you downshift with high RPMs, I think it spits a fucking flame out the back, but I don't see it. Virtual torque tables will kill you. I would ask your tuner and check it. I mean, it made exactly the power that it should make, according to everything I've seen out there. It'll vary about 20 horsepower, but again, that can vary dyno to dyno. Every car I know that has a pulley and headers with about 24, 25 degrees of timing makes about 600, 612, 615 tops. I made 600, 620. I'm making way more torque than half of these guys. I found a VMP Gen 2, bootlegger says, yep, when I first got my 14SS sedan, long tubes were the first mod, stock tune did not like them. I found a VMP Gen 2R for sale, ported by Joker's Performance. Is that blower too powerful for a Gen 1 motor? No. I know the Gen 2R is king for a street car. It is not. You just don't go under an 82mm pulley and you'll be a happy guy. The Black GT500 says, I like fast and cool cars. I've had LS, small block Ford, EcoBoost truck, and of course, a 544 valve. Every video you show that Ford's only competitor to the Vet is a $500,000 Ford GT. Then the 350 goes up against the Z28 with the LS7. There you go. You got it. So Ford never put something out against the Corvette. Now, you guys that are OG fans, you remember me way back in the day saying, King Daddy stick cars is ZR1. The Viper's a great car. Okay, the Viper's a wonderful car. The Gen 5 Viper. Unless you bolt on a supercharger to the Viper, it ain't going to do shit. A ZR1, you literally bolt stuff on. Blower, lower, and maybe, let's say stock blower. And you put a lid, a snout, 2.5 upper, stock lower, bigger cold air, race gas, and long tubes. That thing's going to destroy most Vipers. To me, the Viper's an awesome NA car that can track. You know what I mean? I think it's a road race car. And I think that's what it should do. I would never grab a Viper and take it to make it a drag car or anything like that. It would stay NA. I'd probably get some headers. Probably get no crazy stuff with like a stroker or anything like that. And I just take it to the road course because that is more car than I'll ever need on the road course. That car has more horsepower than most road course going cars have. Ford wouldn't have the knowledge to keep budget low and make car comparable to a Corvette. I've seen torque tables stop power. It did on my G8. Once I upped them, the car was happy. That was back in the day, though. No, look, I'm telling you, nothing is interrupting power. Throttle, spark, output, like it's saying the virtual output of the torque, according to the graph, is like, what, 650? And it kind of followed that on the dyno. Alex, on a swap car running flex fuel enabled, wrong. Stop. You're already there. You're stopping right there. How do you use a refill threshold? That's the problem. Good job, Suecra. Set it to 0 and it learns every time. Not sure if a stock FPDM reports fuel or pulse width. So you can do this, Suecra. You can make it that it's always learning. It never locks because it doesn't know the fuel level. So if you set it to 0, it's always learning. So theoretically, it's always adjusting and it never has a chance to reset. So you could say that's a true flex tune, but we don't offer the flex tune anymore. I can't give you advice as if you're tuning it yourself, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into tuning the flex tune than just flipping a switch. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is on Coyote swap cars, and you have inferred flex logic, inferred octane logic, inferred everything, no direct measurement. It's basically a floating stoic all the time. A Viper would be nice. A road course roll car. Gen 5 Viper ACR slaughters many on the road course. LSX C6Z06 is up there with King Daddy Stick. Absolutely. Should work with TSP on a custom cam grind and have it called... No, so it'll be BTR, probably a stage 3. I've kind of decided on that. Again, I'm only going by guys that have built this, run this, and tuned this. I have at least 6 guys I can reference, and they've all kind of led me to the same path. And they said, with stage 4 BTR stuff, too much, too crazy. Stage 3 is fine. But Rami also, we had a conversation. And he's like, what do you want to do? And I like that because that's what I do to the customers that I have. I go, what are your goals? What are you going to do? Do you want lineage? Do you want to get some content out of this car? Yes, yes, and yes. So I'll keep you posted as to what's next on the car. Blue99 says, Orale Holmes. Where's Admiral Peck for advice when you need him? Long Haul King says, glad I'm finally able to catch a live stream and I'm never home this early from the gym. I was able to work 10 instead of 12 hours today. Oh, man, Mike H would hate you. He said you're going to get divorced. Vipers NA King Daddy, I'd gap those LS7s at Laguna Seca. 640 is the limit on the ECM. We'll read, are you sure the throttle isn't closing? I'm 100% sure the throttle isn't closing. Come on, stop it. Just don't do the DSX auxiliary pump in the future. No, it's going to get a 4 Innovations fuel system if I ever do E85 in the Corvette, which I probably might. What's max boost on 93 octane 10.5 compression Coyote? Well, you got to understand, boost, you could stuff bananas in the tailpipe and make 15 pounds of boost. Safely, if there is no actual restriction, I would say 11 or 12 is the most I would go, like on a F-150 motor. TSP's cams are made of Chinesium. Exactly. That's what a lot of people told me about that cam company. Same cam I have on the junkyard engine stand. 2003 Viper for sale in Oklahoma Marketplace, $40K, but it's an 03. The guy helping you, I have his feeling, is Ryan Stevens, GPI. Nope. You will never know who this guy is. It is not a known guy, and that's what I like about him. He reached out to me, and he said, look, I just want to help because I'm an actual subscriber and follower, and I like what you got to say. And I think a lot of people maybe watch this show and go, Alex can say the shit we want to say, but we can't say it because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to lose our customers. We don't want to da-da-da-da-da. So I listen to him and go, yes, customers are mostly shitheads. Yes, customers suck. Yes, they don't know what they're talking about. And I think it's nice for them to hear someone, quote unquote, in the industry to basically mimic what they've been thinking or mirror. BTR Stage 3 is solid, had on my V. Yep, that's what I'm going to go with. You think Ford is bad? Mazda's bringing back the rotary, a single rotor power generator EV. What's up, 661 Racing? Did you get the throttle body fixed or replaced? I don't trust anything TSP. Dropping a like. Well, did you hear that they're going to fuck with Coyotes? That is my issue. Because this is what's going to happen, right? Texas Speed is fine. I have no issue, no personal axe to grind against them. But once they joined with Homeboy, they were out. They're out. I just don't. And not because he's destructive. And I just couldn't. I'm like, no. And then the more you hear about them, did you remember them didn't they make headers for a while? Was that the same Texas Speed? So I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna pass. Again, they're fine. The LS boys want to run with that stuff. Cool. No, I'm good. I'm gonna pass. Of course, James Williams. Where's the reliable 1,000 guys at tonight? I have since LSA swapped my SS sedan. I run the Stage 3 PDS and love it. Not only does it chop like an enchilada at night, but it pulls amazing with 15 PSI. You don't take shortcuts with auxiliary pump, cheap cam, or whatever on a ZR1. Exactly. To me, a ZR1, if I got to overpay for something that you guys think is not necessary, but the quality is higher, that's what I'm going to do. Because, look, let's be honest, guys. Let's say I build this ZR1, and it has niche wheels, Texas speed headers, pipe bomb mufflers, a zoom clutch, China boy rockers, Godzilla lifters. You're gonna go and then let's say I advertise if I want to sell it one day. It's got junk in it. So why would I put junk in a car that I think is, I don't know, deserves a little bit of quality parts thrown at it? TSP, oh, we got a TSP lover here. Oh, stop it. Been a little busy, but glad we found the issue. Got a list of guys who want to race us, and car's not even ready. Just tuning in and seeing the Ultimate Headers logo. Congratulations. Look, they've been supporting me for a while, but they just went to the next level. And they're like, put us on your shit. And I'm like, I want to basically have a jacket that looks like a NASCAR jacket one day with all of the sponsors. And I won't even say anything. I won't even say my name. I'll have to say the Ultimate Headers, Caliber Transmission, 2-Auto Solution, PMAS, Parts Farm, Cookies, DNA High Performance show is going to be on today at 8:30. I'm going to be that guy. Zoom clutch. The Corvette tax is real, especially a ZR1. Have a reliable 1,000 duck power. Costco says, hello, Papi Alex. I'll send a log tonight for the other lake. Your tonight. For the other lake, your tonight. Okay, got it. You didn't mess up anything leaving the traction control on when you were doing the dyno for ZR1? No, so I thought I left the traction control on. It ended up being torque limiting based on a failure of the ABS system. So the rear wheels are going 140, the fronts aren't spinning. So the car is losing its mind, and it shut throttle. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, it did not shut throttle. It cut spark. It went up, and then it killed spark, and it went negative 10, and I let off the gas, because when you feel something weird, you let off the gas. And I'm like, it's going negative 10. Interesting. And that is a form of torque reduction. So you go to the torque management section and just fucking disable everything. Do you think BC Forge wheels are garbage wheels considering they're made in Florida and custom monoblock? Oh, man. BC Forged wheel. He wants me to talk shit on BC Forged. Well, one of them is $823, so shit. That sounds expensive. But these are the forged. Oh, yeah, BC Forged. Per wheel. I mean, Jesus. It looks expensive to me. It looks expensive. It's nice. It looks good, but I don't know shit about them. But I don't think it's... If it's shit, it's expensive shit. So something tells me it's probably not shit. Alex, subscribers would double if he 7.3 swapped to ZR1. Well, Follow says, exactly, Alex. Spend extra dough for quality stuff for resale, little help. Like us peasants buying used vehicles, if it's got Michelins, they did not change the oil. Ford transmissions are being recalled. Yes. A parking paw issue. A dumb little fastener that does not allow the parking paw lever to stay in its place can render your car useless. And you know where that's located? Inside of the transmission, and they have to drop open to replace this dumb, like, what the hell happened? You're telling me every 10R80 transmission is potentially missing that little thing for the parking paw? My God. The problem with the LS is that people love to cheap out on everything instead of doing it right. That's why there's a lot of sad setups out there. And again, if you go to late model performance, the Baltimore, is it late model the late model performance crew, the tuner talks about it. And the tuner has a way of talking that's just, he's calm, which I don't understand. If I was dealing with LS guys, I'd be losing my fucking shit. But he just sits there with his laptop real quiet and nice, and he's like, Yeah, you know, a lot of people come through here and they think they're just going to shove a cam in their stock bottom end car and make 1100. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not going to do that. A lot of people could. And he said something that I loved. He goes, to put a 2650 on a car, in my opinion, you got to do it right. And if it was my car, I wouldn't put a 2650 on the car unless it's a 427 or a Billy Badass motor from LME or something like that. So I like his thought process. So a lot of you are saying, Alex, just throw a 2650 on it and call it a day. Okay, so now I have a 2650 shoving a bunch of air that the engine can't process because it's not cammed. It's just not opening and closing efficiently enough to get it in and out and making power. So a lot of you guys want me to just throw a 2650 blower in there and call it a day. And that's no different than me throwing a 4-liter supercharger on a stock Coyote. It's just dumb. So the 2.3 can get me to about 8. Look, if the car runs 9s, guys, you know what it takes to make one of those things run 8s? Just clutch and transmission wise? Yeah, I'm not that guy. I don't know what you guys think is going to happen. I have a GT500. I'm not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust
I'm
me.
not that guy.
You're not that guy.
When I was a Ford recall tech, they literally had me calling customers to come back and make sure their techs didn't just say they performed the recall and not actually perform it. Poor QC. My 10R80 is in the shop for that problem. Been there a month. I want to see those wheels that you posted you wanted for the Z01. Those are sick. Forgestar CF10 gloss black. I have an HP Tuner's N-Gauge, able to use it with Lund tuning. If it's married to your car, yes. If it was ever used on any other vehicle, it is a dud. It is a paperweight. Jason says, I'm glad you just spewed the beans about the 10R80. Now I don't want the Mustang with the 10R80. I'll just stick with my 13 for now, but I do need another Mustang. Vucin or CCW for the Z01. No cheap shit. Nope. Forgestar CF10s are my jam for that shit. I like how they look. You might say they're cheap or whatever. I like them. Sorry, and they're not cheap. I've tuned an 800 horsepower turbo Trailblazer SS. I'm not big, but I come from carb and distributor, so I understand how engines work and tunes the oils. Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying I'm very happy, so I don't need anyone else muddying up and throwing other doubt in my head. I'm happy. The car made the power it should have made for the mods that it had within about 20 horse. I'm not looking to squeeze out every single bit of horsepower. And we did prove that at this boost level, it does have a slight restriction. Because once I removed the filter from the cold air, it picked up 12 horsepower. So, a 102 millimeter throttle body, Lingenfelter inlet, ported blower, good lid. It'll pick up another 1.5 pounds or 2 or more, and a bigger cold air, like a Synergy or whoever the fuck makes them. Kong. Correction, 2300 will make 900 horsepower on a ZR1. Exactly. So I am not a fan of throwing a 2650 on top of it right away. I heard GM threw the 2650 on the 6.2 LT5 and the C7 ZR1. Yes. LS Guy knowledge is shove 25 through a cam only 5.3 and then brag about how I made 1,000 for 2 passes before shit the bed. Exactly. And that's my issue with the LS Guy. It's the culture. Not the LS Guy. Like, okay, if you have a CTS V3, a ZL1, a Camaro well-built, this and that, you're not the typical LS guy. The typical LS guy thinks that you grab a 4.8, you throw a cam on it and heads, and you take a choo-choo boy and shove 25 PSI just like he says, and it runs a 7. But then you go back and it is rattling its ass off. And you go, well, it's okay. It's only a $400 junkyard motor. Well, no. You don't understand. I want to go 7s for seasons. So if that requires a forged Coyote bottom end, 20, 22, 23 PSI, a Billy Badass 6R80, a 9-inch conversion at full weight, 30-something 100 pounds, 38, 3,900 pounds, I'll do that. I am not interested in being that guy that puts 30 PSI on something that's it's on its last leg, and you think that makes it LS badass. No, I think you got to build it properly. But again, what makes the Coyote badass is not having to do a goddamn thing to run a number. And I've always said in my video, boy, I'm spoiled by Coyote, because Coyote would have made 600 a long time ago. VMS for the win. Trompeta coming soon for the ZR1. 4-stars are legit. I like them. You might like Forged Line SS1 5 lug, but you can get the, look, it's like $5,000. I'm an LS guy myself, and I absolutely hate this culture. Look, A lot of you might have been surprised that I sold my white car. By the way, shout out to the guy that bought it, man. He's a good guy. He got there safely. He used one of my easy passes. So what I did, like, you want to know how much of a good guy I am? I let him have my plate and say, just drive it home. And I got his info. So if he does me dirty, I'll just report it stolen, you know? So I said, get home safely. And once you get home safely, just ship me back the plate. Bro, he did it. And he sent me a fucking receipt with the plate. He's like, you're going to get your plate back Saturday. I'm like, what a guy. Good guy. I love people like that are honest, flew in, drove it home. Good for him. Like 1,000 miles away. Dang, I missed the Cuban versus Bloodshot talk. I'm getting an RC components, wheels for mine. Got it. After they pulled 5 motors, they spent the same time to build it and run it. Turbo Trailblazer SX 6.0. Okay. I just want to hear why you don't want a Trackhawk again. You because I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. I like to fuck him in the ass while he beat up. No, thank you. I'm good. Hey, I'm good. I don't want to be in that. Look, let's say I buy a Trackhawk. They're badass, right? They're cool. And you want to go to Miami with your girl. And you want to just grab a meal somewhere. And then homeboy finna slide up in them guts. Right? And he's like, ooh, man, we finna slide in Pookie. So we got to grab Alex's Trackhawk. No person that slides up in them guts. No person that drives Hellcats and Trackhawks. No person that listens to Stunner, fuck him in the ass while someone else beats up the pussy, decides to slide with a ZR1. Man, I don't even know how to turn that motherfucker on, son. I don't even know how to turn that bitch on, Pookie. I'm finna get that Trackhawk, man, cause that thing be like, brah. Alex, right? So, because this is what people do. Look, I grew up in the ghetto, so I can speak as one of them. But I'm like translating, right? Ghetto people are so fucking stupid that they will slide up on their ops in their main vehicle. Like, they'll slide on their ops with their main vehicle. Yo, man, look at that dark red Trackhawk. It looked like homeboy, and I look like everybody. Bald brown guy, so you never know. That's my motherfucking dog. I need to hear the abortion song. Where is the abortion song? Right, because if I'm driving a Hellcat or a Trackhawk, you know. Where is it? Oh, dude, did I get rid of it? You know what's crazy? I have so much shit here. I need one of those big ones. I need one of those big soundboard things. No, apparently I don't. What do I have here? No, that's something else. No, that's something else. China. Oh, that's a oh boy. And then EPA.
If I become president again, then I'll have the EPA sucking my big fat orange cock.
Oh wow. Damn, Trump. I guess I got rid of the abortion song. Oh my God. See what I mean, man? You see what I mean when I try to run the show by myself? I need someone that just does this. I think I got rid of the abortion song. We could just Google it later. They slide on their girl's Altima. Ooh, thanks for clearing that up, Alex. Thank you. Slide on the ops is in the highlighter orange Hellcat. The dumb ones will, but the smart ones stealing cars to do that right. So let's say there's a Trackhawk they're familiar with. They know how to steal it. They know how to make a key. They know how to make a virtual key and be able to get it in there and pop. Bro, no thank you. No vehicle that is popular with rappers is ever going to be owned by me. Fuck that. Fuck that. I guess we're going to have to play the abortion song. Where is it? I got murder on my mind. Rapper twerks at Planned Parenthood. You gotta love it. Man, I gotta slide up a Pookie, man. Can you imagine playing this while you slide on your ops? Damn. Get the blick out to this.
Baby daddy free.
Well, let's play that.
I ain't got a baby coming out of me. So I'm ABORTING. On my way to the clinic. I forgot the plan B.
Let's go.
I got murder on my mind.
Damn, we're playing the extendo. Honey Bun. Banana clip version. Long. That hair is not hers. There's no way that hair is hers. Can I pull on that hair?
All these having babies, but that ain't finna be me.
Okay, finna. Okay, finna is fixing to, right? So fixing to makes no sense, but then you shorten it even more and say finna. I was walking Tony and I'm by the pool and someone said, man, I'm finna jump in that bitch. And I knew exactly what they're talking about. And I went, oh no, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get a fucking house ASAP. TDC tonight, of course. Fuck yeah, we're doing TDC tonight. Beat is fire. It is fire. It's the same one as fuck FNF. I can't even say it because I don't think I'm broad enough. Okay, Jason. When can I say that? Where's Jason? Jason, you're my you're my boy. Where are you at? Where's Jason? James. Sorry, James. When can I say that? Like, can I don't think I can say the N-word just yet. I think in the middle of summer, I might be able to, but not right now. No fucking way. Why is she looking like the female gremlin from the Gremlins? Yeah, that ain't her hair. I play that song on my daily commute to work. Finna is fixing to, about to. When I pull the laptop, motherfuckers get intimidated. I would steal a Hellcat for that. Better parents are finna regret having that. Couple more toes. Where do I watch TDC? You just type in on YouTube, that dating channel, and we talk shit about girls and dating and girls. It's a good time. I always watch TDC the next morning on the way to work. What's worse than finna is Ion, aka I don't want to. I can't even put that in a sentence. I think you have a pass now. Okay, thank you. I have a pass. I'm Puerto Rican. But I still can't say it though, because you know. What if in the middle of winter someone wants to call me out? I thought this was a racial undertone show. Would you get a rear-wheel drive base 18 to 20 Explorer all-wheel drive if they were Coyote powered? Yeah. Anything Coyote power gets my fucking vote except an F-150. You've got an honorary pass, says Slow99. Sent the email link of a ZR1 I've been looking into. Just curious on your opinion of that car. What do you think of buying built versus buying stock, building your own? Look, if someone built it and can prove that it makes good power, get that shit. Because modding it is dumb expensive. So yeah, if someone said it's got a cam, good cam. If someone did HCI on it, bro, just fucking get it. Another dyno session and you'll be dark enough. You're right. Risnum with that song. This episode is sponsored by Hims. YouTube is crap. Gotta watch what you say. It is. You can't just pop off on some dumb shit. If I did a Patreon, like where the hell could I air the shit that I want to? Not that I would say that I'm not, you know, the hard R isn't fucking flying all over the place. Mexicans say it all the time, Alex, here in San Antonio. Yeah, I don't get that at all. Mexicans should not get a pass on that because you're like, Mexicans are more Asian descent than they are like African descent. So, no. What are you talking about? I'm like, really? You said it on live stream talking about someone bringing up the blick to a street race. You got the pass. It sounded right coming off the tongue. What would yield more gains on a stock Gen 3? Lesbian tongue butt or or fucking or what the hell is LTB? Long tube bussy? What the fuck is LTB? LTB or FFE? Fuck, what a weird acronym. Aldo drops the hard ends. Yeah, I don't. Again, I'm good. Rumble's more free. Turvey says it. Mexicans here in Albuquerque use it all the time. If someone built the car properly and selling it for less than it would cost to build it, then buy it. It's already built. Right, exactly. LGBTQ. Ultron and Rumble won't cancel you for it. Yeah, but I don't look. I know people. People are fucking psycho. And I don't think that's one of those words I want to say. It doesn't roll off the tongue. I don't just say it all willy-nilly. Sometimes you get your ass beat. Like you can't call another Puerto Rican guy cabrón. You cannot say mira cabrón and mean it. Yeah, tu papá es un cabrón. You will get shot dead if you're Puerto Rican. But it's also a term of endearment. Me and Rami say, mira cabrón, ¿qué tú haces? Ponlo en el dyno, cabrón, sigue jodiendo en la calle. You know, but if you say, tu pa es un cabrón, you will die. Hey, Alex, was the PMAS fender intake any good? Do you think it's better than the normal PMAS intake? Been running stock airbox. Yeah, I like grabbing air from the bottom closer to the fresher air. And he makes it so that it's still within the little shield inside of a nice little area where the fender doesn't have a lot of turbulence, but it grabs quote unquote fresher air from the grill than it would from the engine bay. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to go do TDC in about 10 minutes. I'll get switched over. So today we talked about Farley potentially having strike number 3. And I've said that he has to go already. I wouldn't wait for a third strike. I would say I would give him 6 months. And in terms of, I know it doesn't sound like a long time, but he's been there 2 years already. And it's been nothing but bad. So you need to right the ship ASAP. But he might be beholden to unions and this and this and that. So it might be a problem. All right, guys. You won't die for calling someone a cabrón in Puerto Rico? Okay, I don't know where the fuck Puerto Rico you're from. I don't know what part of Puerto Rico you're from. But if you call somebody a cabrón, legitimately, not a term of endearment, oh yeah, you'll fucking die. All right, guys, I'm going to go on TDC next. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll get switched over. And today we talked 01 stuff, 01 video. Go watch the video. It's 40 minutes long. It's a good time. Shot in 4K. Nice camera. I love that fucking camera. Showing some calves, showing some cake. Everything happened in that video. It's a good time. And some dyno stuff, sounds, clips, sights, tuning talk, everything. It had a little bit of everything. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. And it's actually, the views are nice on it so far. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys Sunday. Peasant Chat, where everyone talks just like now. I just have everyone talking because it's a little more interesting. And we'll talk to the peasants about whatever the peasants want to talk about. That's just how it is on Sundays, right? I'm out of here, guys. See you guys Sunday. And for the rest of you that are going to hang out on TDC, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. See you later.